What is up, everyone? Guess who it is? Yes, it is your Man on Fire mentor, David Mailer, coming to you live. And today we are going to dive into the center of the fire and speak about one of the most important topics that every man is going to need to hear. What is that topic? It is how can I, as in you, how can I be a better man in my relationship? Who here wants to know that? Who here wants to know how they can actually show up as a better man in their relationship? Because I am guessing that each and every one of you wants to show up more powerfully, wants to show up and be the leader of your household, wants to show up and make sure that the woman that you're with, your queen, is treated with reverence, treated with respect, treated as sacred, and you get the ultimate reward, which is a beautiful smile on her face as her heart is fluttering and you're holding it with the delicateness of the way that you would hold a flower. That is what I'm guessing that all of you want. Who is out there right now? Let me know that you're with me. I got to make sure that I have some guys on live right now and that I am broadcasting. Who is out there in Facebook land? I'm going to wait a minute until I see some comments, and then I'm going to keep going. All right. I'm going to just go with the assumption that you guys can hear me and you guys can see me, even though I'm not seeing a lot of comments here. So, there's Brian Wilson. There we go. All right, you guys can hear me. All right. All right, guys. So, what is today's topic? Today's topic is how can I show up as, or how can I be a better man in my relationship? And I really believe that a man wants to be successful in this relationship. He wants the ultimate reward of seeing and feeling that the person that he's with, his partner, his wife, his girlfriend, his fiance, is happy, that he's filling her cup, and that he's uplifting her. He's allowing her to be a more full and better expression of herself. So how do we do that, right? Because, one of the most common things that men are seeking my help with is their relationship is hanging on by a thread, hanging on by a rope, a millimeter away from separation or a millimeter away from divorce. Or there's been massive betrayals and massive hurts, and now she doesn't trust me. She doesn't respect me. There's been walls put up. Concrete, cement, solidity, these walls where a man feels like he doesn't know how to take down the wall. And this is disheartening because we know that we are wired and built for being a leader in our relationship. And one of the pains that a man faces is when he knows that he has sold his partner short. When he knows that rather than being that guardian, that protector, that gatekeeper of the feminine heart, you come to the painful realization that, oh my God, I swore I'd never be like my father, or I swore I would never be like that, and you inadvertently become the person that's hurting the very person that you love. And you've gotten so far off your path, so far off of your center of who you truly are, and now you don't know what to do with all of this pain. And so you have to have the humble and courageous desire to actually want to show up as a better man in your relationship. And most men won't necessarily even be aware of this until they realize the degree of hurt that they might be causing their partner by not showing up as more of a masculine leader. So we just had a 4-day Man on Fire Rising immersion. This is our signature event that we hold for men, where we put 20 plus guys in a room, and myself and my team, my coaches, and we stand for these guys that come into the room. And the commitment is that they're going to leave a different version of themselves. The commitment is that at the end of the 4 days, you're going to have more presence, you're going to have more empathy, you're going to have more compassion, and you're going to feel more love for yourself and your fellow brother than you've ever felt in your entire life. Because most of us as men are living up here in our heads. We've become disconnected from here, our heart. We've become disassociated. And in doing so, when you disconnect from your heart and you are living primarily in your head, the guarantee is that you're going to hurt a lot of people. When you can't be felt, you can't be trusted. When you can't be trusted, you can trust that the intimacy is eradicated and the fire will burn out. So we had, a lot of men, 20 plus guys at this last immersion, and I'm thinking about two in particular. One where his wife tolerated how he showed up for over 20 years in the marriage. She literally tolerated it. And she kept holding the space for maybe he'll change, maybe he'll change, maybe he'll change. And through the sharpness and the acuity of his tongue to compensate for his own inadequacies, he would steamroll and gaslight and shrink her and belittle her, all for what? To compensate for feeling inadequate, to compensate for his own feelings of unworthiness. And we punish our partner because we don't feel like we're whole. We don't feel like that we're enough. And when we feel like we're failing them, rather than being a man about it and handling it from a place of an awakened heart, if your heart's not available, you're going to handle it from your head. And if you're handling it from your ego, the guarantee is that you're going to be finger pointing and you're going to be using force rather than power, and you're going to really hurt your partner, the very person that you love. And that's a very painful realization to come to as a man, because then you start to believe it's too late. There's no way I can fix this. There's no way I can restore the trust. There's no way I can restore the intimacy. There's no way I can bring the passion back. I mean, I don't even know who I am anymore. How the hell am I going to do this? And even if I did, why would she trust me? Why would she like me? Look at all these horrible and heinous and disgusting things that I've done. I belong on the bottom of somebody's shoe. This is what one of the guys came in with. Another guy came into our 4-day immersion where he had 2 or 3 affairs behind his wife's back. He had basically compensated for feeling like he's not good enough by overworking and working and working and working and working. And like so many of you, provided that extraordinary, life for his family, the beautiful house, the cars, send the kids to the right schools. And he provides and he protects and he provides and he protects. But part of that protection is we forget to protect the feminine heart. And when we don't protect your heart, you could kiss the marriage goodbye eventually. So to compensate for feeling like he wasn't enough and for not knowing how to be fully present in his marriage, because most men haven't learned how to be present in their marriage. Most men haven't learned to slow down. Most men haven't learned how do I go from my head to my heart. And so next thing you know, we're after that quick fix. It's always so good when we have it, the McDonald's cheeseburger or the Big Mac, right? The vanilla shake, the fries, or the Whopper if you're a Burger King fan. It's like we don't play the long game. Unfortunately, most men play the short game. They want that short-term gratification, and they're not willing to put in the work day in and day out and chip away at the stone, like the Stonecutters Creed, and recognize that, no, the reason the stone cracked open on the 101st blow is because of all the blows before it. Most men bail after a few cracks. Oh, nothing's happening, I'm on to the next thing. So next thing you know, you're having an affair. Why? To try to compensate for your own feelings of inadequacy. You want to feel significant, you want to feel important, you want variety, and you're doing it in a way that's harmful to your own soul's evolution and harmful to your family and harmful to your wife. So we had this guy come in, and this was his situation. And I'm only not saying their names because I didn't ask for their permission, so I'm just protecting the privacy. Well, the good news is both of them went home completely different men. And one of them, the one that had the 3 affairs, literally his wife shared with him that you need to get it through your thick skull that we are done. She said this at a therapy session, that she wanted support from the therapist, for the therapist's help to get it through to her husband that I'm done, I'm out, I've moved on, I'm with somebody else, and he's had his chances, and he continued to shit on me, per se, right? Not literally, but shit on this relationship, desecrate the sacredness of our vows. I'm done, and he needs to get it through his head and leave me alone. So we had 4 days to crack this guy open, 4 days to drop him from his head into his heart, 4 days to help him remember who the hell he really is, 4 days to recognize the very thing that he needed to protect and hold as sacred. He hurt. And 4 days to learn, how do I restore the trust? How do I penetrate her walls? How do I take the solidity of her words? We're done. Get it through your thick skull. How do I take that and actually turn it into vapor? Because most of you haven't built yourself up enough to the point where you take the words as so literal and you give up because you see what's in front of you as being insurmountable. And for many of you it is. For many of you it is because you're still in your head and you don't have a support team behind you. Man on Fire is one of those support teams. It's not the only one. There's amazing programs out there. We're one program. And we're great at what we do. And we almost dropped the F-bomb. I don't know if that's allowed on Facebook, but we fucking care. We love you guys. And we want you to rise. We want you to show up as the leader that you were born to be. And we know you're hurting when you don't show up as this leader. We know that everyone in your life is hurting when you don't show up for who you truly are. The world is sold short when you are not showing up for who you were born to be. You know this. So this man came so into his heart during these 4 days, and so many tears were shared, and so much courage was built. And we watched him literally exchange into a different version of him where he stood differently, spoke differently, expressed himself differently. He had tears of joy, tears of rapture, tears of suffering, where he had the courage to dig into where he buried his hurts and his wounds and his traumas and go excavate it and bring it up so that he can get the hell out of his head and drop into his heart. What happened in his particular case is he goes home and he got through all of those walls to his wife and spoke from his heart and let her know, I hear you. I get that you've moved on and that you've started this relationship with this other man and you'd like me to honor that and you want me to get it through my head that we're done. And I'm not going to tell you the full extent of what he shared, but what I will tell you is that she felt the congruence in the energy behind his words. There's no magical words that Man on Fire gives you. There's no script. There's no gimmick. There's no strategy. There's no tactic. We have an expression in our community, energy always wins. If you're not embodying the energy of congruence, of authenticity, game over. You lost. Because she'll see right through that. And this brother, his name's Michael, this brother, he was able to come into such a place of coherence, of alignment, of congruence, of authenticity, of the real version of him with the tears in his eyes, that he literally took away years of hurt from his wife. And for the first time in God knows how long, she saw the real version of her husband. She saw the masculine leader. She saw the man drop from his head into his heart. And for the first time in God knows how long, she felt safe. And she felt that she could trust in his words. And I kid you not when I say that she took out the wedding ring that she took away from him, put it back on his finger, said she's going right now, give me a few minutes, I'm going to call this other guy and let him know that I'm still in love with my husband and I'm going to make my marriage work. And I'm calling it off with him. And she told him, I want you to know that you are stuck with me for the rest of your life. As they both shed tears of joy and tears of laughter and tears of crying. I mean, this is what it's all about, guys, is how do you be a better man, for your wife, for your partner, is you take on the courageous journey of growing yourself. You decide that you are going to elevate, up-level, shift, exchange, become a version of you that's more congruent with who you really are. And let me tell you something, and this is having served over 10,000 men, and I've had the honor and the privilege of working with the likes of Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyer and being entrusted by them and working with other luminaries in this world. And it is such an honor to be able to work with men and for, working with over 10,000 of them, patterns don't lie. Only our mouths do. And we all share the same patterns as men. Well, almost all of us are stuck in our head. And so our wife is getting the analytical version of us, getting the version of us that has checked out. that has become disassociated. Until you have the courage to really look at and dig into the stuff that you buried, the unconscious programming is running your life. The stuff you're trying to get away from is running your life. And it will ruin your life. It will ruin your marriage. It will destroy your relationships. You can't outrun what you've buried. And in the Man on Fire Brotherhood, we're here to help you excavate. We're here to help you dig up the stuff that you buried. Face the stuff that you've been running from. Have the courage to go into the center of the different hurts and wounds and traumas. And inside the center is the very energy needed for you to have the leverage to make the changes, for you to get out of your head and get into your heart and get into your power. Very few men choose this, sadly. Very few men choose this. What they choose is problems. What they choose is drama. What they choose is to believe that they're not good enough. What they choose is to steamroll and to gaslight and to use force rather than power. And what they choose is to live from their head. And I don't believe it's a conscious choice. But sadly, there's such a small percentage of men that are living in alignment from their hearts. And we call this in our community the awakened masculine leader. It's a man who is fully integrated. You're rooted, solid in the earth. You know that you're connected deeply, where you can't be swayed, you can't be pushed, you can't be put into a position where you violate your own internal compass. Nobody could influence you because you're rooted. And in being rooted, and this is how you set yourself up to have this successful relationship, how do you show up in your relationship, is you become what's called imperturbable, unwavering, right? Sturdy, steady, where no matter what's coming at you from your partner, you're not personalizing it. It's like the wind just goes through you, goes past you. It's like nothing she can say is going to knock me off of my center, off of the remembrance of who I am as a man. She's just hurting. I am not going to personalize her words. I'm not going to let it sway me and then attack and go and come back at her with force and even more venom. No, I just need to see in those moments that it's not about me. She's hurting. And I can hold space for anything that she brings me. And this man with the awakened heart, not only is he rooted, but he's totally in his power. There's no force. And he's connected here, intuitively guided, trusting your knowing, trusting the higher power, divinity, your ability to have intuition, and not just make decisions from your head, but make decisions from your gut, from your heart, to trust your intuitive guidance, where you won't violate yourself as a man. You won't violate yourself. You trust in your knowing, and you speak your knowing into existence. And this man is also connected above. This is a man on fire. This is an awakened masculine leader, rooted below, connected above, and all through the conduit of your heart. This is what it's all about. This is what's required right now. If you want to have this type of an extraordinary relationship, what's going to be required is your earnest and your honest and your humble desire to grow yourself as a man. So how can I be a better man in a relationship? Well, it starts with your commitment to wanting to grow yourself, and then to feed energy and pump energy into that growth. It's not as simple as one of my podcasts, one of my YouTube videos, one of my Facebook videos, a book that you read, because there's phenomenal books out there. There's amazing podcasts out there. There's all sorts of videos you can watch. That's different. That's different, listening to all that stuff and watching all that stuff. That's like being a spectator in the stands. You want to be a player down on the field in life. You don't want to be a spectator in the stands. There's no skin in the game that way. And most men are not willing to put in the work, right? You look at a bodybuilder. I mean, imagine the amount of work they put in to shape and cultivate those muscles. Are you willing to put in that amount of work to growing yourself into a leader? Are you willing to grow yourself where you're in your heart, where you can show up and be a better man in your relationship? Are you willing to do that? So how do you be a better man in your relationship? First thing is ask for help, get support. Learn how to get out of your head. Learn how to get into your heart. Learn how to get past your core hurts and wounds that are driving you in your relationship, where you might be gaslighting, or maybe you turn into the pleaser or the yes man, or you turned her into mom. Or maybe you're like the rock, where nobody can get through to you because you're handling everybody else's problems, but you're doing that at the expense of not feeling. Nobody can get through to you, so you're not even there. You're there, but you're not there. Like, you go through the motions, but you're not really there. Or maybe you're the gaslighter, right? Where you spin everything around and turn it around on her, and you make it all about you. So how do you be a better man in a relationship? You have to have that desire. You have to have that hunger. Without the hunger, your words are empty, guys. I'll give it to you that straight. Your words are empty. I want more money. I want a better marriage. Yeah, but are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to reach out and ask for help? Are you willing to be held to the fire and be held accountable to saying what you really want? Who's holding you to that? Who's holding you to your words? Who's holding you to what you're saying you're committed to? I can tell you at Man on Fire, that's what we do. We support, we challenge, because men grow with challenge. Iron sharpens iron, and we hold men accountable. If you say you're going to do something, we're going to hold you to what you said you're going to do. That's what's required. You could try to do this alone. Good luck. For those of you that can, good for you. For me, for my company, for the men that we attract, they want help. They want to be pushed. They want to be held accountable. So let's take a pause. Let's take a moment. Everyone just tune in to what are they hearing and what I'm sharing. Let me hear what you're hearing. What are you hearing there, Josh? What are you hearing, Brian? What are you hearing, Jared? I see a lot of hellos, but what are you hearing? Throw me some fire signs. Smash up the like key so you can really help us with our algorithms to get this word out to more people. What are you hearing in what I'm sharing? I want to hear from you guys. What are you hearing? I want to know what you're hearing. What's a takeaway? What's an aha? What's a revelation? What's a light bulb that's going off? Talk to me. I'm going to give it 30 seconds. Wait for some of your comments to come in. Wait for some of your comments. What do you got, guys? What do you got for me? Do the work and get supported. Beautiful, Brian. Daniel Smith's throwing the fire signs. Sean's throwing, man, that's a lot of fire signs. Let me see. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20. It's over 24 fire signs. Love it. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. You rock, brother. So, guys, if you came in late, I was discussing, as we all dove into the center of the fire together, right? Because some men fear the fire and some men become the fire. What? Yeah, some men fear the fire. What does that mean? It means, well, it's getting too hot. I don't like that. I feel uncomfortable, so they walk the other way. Right? You dip your little pinky toe into the pool. Oh, it's too cold. I don't want to go in. This is part of the problem. Men don't like to get uncomfortable. And the problem with that, as I'm sure you've heard, is growth and comfort are not friends. So if you're not willing to get uncomfortable, don't expect to grow, period. So when we say some men fear the fire, some men become the fire, well, the ones that fear the fire, it's that when you're getting too close to being uncomfortable, you bail and you run back and you retreat and you go the other way and you go back to your old self. Some men become the fire means you've surrendered. You dove into the center of the fire. Metaphorically, what that means is I'm willing to get uncomfortable. I'm willing to turn up the heat. Water does not boil at 211 degrees. And water does not freeze at 33 degrees. It's that one extra degree that makes all the difference. Where the water changes form. It goes from liquid to gas or liquid to solid. Are you willing to turn up the heat? Are you willing to get uncomfortable? Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to be held accountable? Are you willing to be held to the fire of your true potential as a man? That's my question for you. So you want to know how can I be a better man in a relationship? Simple. Get in a community of men that are committed to doing the same thing, where we hold the feminine as reverent, as sacred, For those of you that have a daughter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You would kill somebody that tried to hurt her. I will never let somebody hurt my daughter, right? That's what you're thinking when she's a baby, when she's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nobody's going to hurt her. But are you modeling that with her mother? Are you harsh with your words? Are you harsh with your energy? Are you sharp with your tongue? Do you know that the woman you're with at one point was a little girl that had her innocence and her purity and the sparkle and the gleam in her eyes before that purity and innocence and playful spirit was taken from her? So you want to know how you can become a better man in a relationship? You hold that woman as sacred. You, sir, are here to protect her heart, not hurt it and not be the one that stomps on it, but you most likely lost your way. I swore I'd never be like my father. I swore I'd never be like, and boom, you lost your way. So have the courage to find your way back home. Have your courage to reach out and get support. You want to know how to be a better man in a relationship? Hang out with other men that are doing it. Hang out with other men that don't treat the feminine in a way that is not sacred. Hang out with other men that are willing to give up pornography and strip clubs. Hang out with other men that hold the feminine as reverent. Hang out with other men that are building up the feminine and committed to a life of growth so that you can give your wife the real masculine leader that you were born to be. Hang out with that type of a brotherhood. That is what Man on Fire is all about. For those of you that are hungry to have that in your life, we have different types of coaching programs, one of which gets you to one of our 4-day signature events called the Man on Fire Immersion. So for those of you that are truly ready to have that in your life, if you haven't had exposure to our company before and you want to talk to one of our coaches and have a conversation about our different coaching programs, and you're in a space where you're ready to invest in yourself financially, energetically, time-wise, let us know. I'm ready. Type it below, and we'll have one of our coaches reach out to you. Don't do this if you want to just do the check it out thing. Just continue to follow more of my lives and watch lots of our videos and testimonials and get more acquainted with who we are, what we stand for, what we represent, and see if you're resonating with us. Don't do it to try to get some free coaching. We're not here to give advice. We're here to offer men opportunity to change and turn around their life. Advice won't change your life. Action will. Action backed by accountability. That's what Man on Fire is all about. So if that's you, the guy that's listening right now, and you're ready to invest in yourself and it's responsible for you, meaning you have no problem paying your bills and you're not putting yourself in a position that is reckless, and you are ready to invest in the one commodity that you need to value the most, which is yourself, because when you grow, everyone in your life wins. If that's you, then let us know. I'm ready, and we'll have somebody reach out to you. All right, guys, I come on just about every week. I'll be away for the next 2 weeks with my wife in Italy and France, a much deserved and way overdue vacation where I'm going to take my queen away and treat her with the sacredness that she deserves in another country and show her off and take her to beautiful dinners and go dancing, and the intimacy will be off the charts, and perhaps I'll check in with you out there. I'm not sure I'll be on next week, but I'm generally on every week on Wednesdays at the same time. And I always look forward to being of service to my fellow brothers, because we're here to help each other rise, right? I come on here and I know that I could be hard on you, but I give it to you straight. And for those that know me, they will tell you my heart is a heart of gold. I cry with you. I bleed with you. I'm down on the battlefield with you, and I'm here, and my team is here to stand for you, to remember that you are so much more than how you're showing up, and you are truly a masculine leader, and you might have forgotten. And our gift is we help men remember who they really are. All right, guys, it's with so much love and so much gratitude for allowing me to always serve you guys and to share my life and my trials and my tribulations and my experiences to help you guys grow. It's your Man on Fire mentor, Dave Mailer. So much love to each and every one of you. Put your final comment below, if you wouldn't mind, about what's one takeaway you got from today's live. If you haven't already, please smash up that like key. And as always, throw me those fire signs. Thank you for diving into the center of the fire with me today, guys. It's your man on fire mentor, David Mailer. So much love, guys.